class, and we were talking about triggers, we were talking about constraints, etc. So let us look into the triggers first, and then by the time we will look into this constraints again. So now, as far as trigger is mentioned, uh, we that it is an event which is going to fire automatically when the database has to be operated, etc. So this can be uh, initiated by the DBMS with its activity before a trigger, after a trigger, like that. So basically, it is going to monitor the database, see that some events should occur. When an event is going to take up, then we may a trigger. So in gun, the position where we click, that position we call that one as a trigger. Similarly, when a database is going to be operated, at what point of time a triggering has to happen, so that point we call here an event. Thereby, it should have a so what it is going to do, and finally it is going to happen what if a trigger is going to run. So when we talk about events of a trigger, it can happen before or after, and it can happen with the operations insert, delete, and update, and over the table. So these will be the sets where the trigger is going to operate. So the events it is going to include before or after. Then it is working with the second set of events with the data manipulation language. And third thing, on the type of database it is going to hit. So before or after, it can be with a row level trigger, or it can be with a statement level trigger. So triggers, they can operate before and after either a part of a row level primitive or either a part of a statement level primitive. So a definition, what we are going to say, it is invoked automatically by the Oracle engine when a specific event is going to be occurred. So it is going to be fired immediately when to uh, make some events are going to occur. Basically, uh, the part what we look in a procedural language will be the same as in a C language. So we have a declarative part, we have open braces, and we have a closed braces. If there is any divide by zero or array out of index, such type of abnormalities are going to happen, then we will look up into the word called as an exception. So exception handling is an optional entry here, but declaring followed by begin followed by close. So these are all going to be a mandatory part when we are going to work out with this trigger. So the syntax for creating a trigger, we can call it as create or replace. So or replace is again it is an optional entry. So trigger, it is going to be the reserved word followed by the user defined word. So user defined word we call here as a again trigger. So when the event is going to schedule, so when the event to be scheduled, so it can be before, it can be after, so it can be instead, and what are the operations it need to perform. So what operations it need to perform? Either it can be insert, it can be update, or it can be delete. Then it is going to tell on what columns, then it is going to say on what database it is going to mention it up. So then this is part where it can check whether it is a row state level or if it's going to be a row level or a statement level trigger. It is need to be mentioned. So similarly, old and new are going to be the variable names, it can happen. So for that, it is going to check on each row, it is going to be specified. Finally, it does with the condition. It is going to does with the condition here. So condition, it is going to test up whether the trigger is going to happen or not. It tests up whether the trigger is going to happen or not, and all the actionable items what the trigger has to be taken. So all those items, it is going to move into this direction. Now let us assume that there is a table called as a customer here. So the customer is going to have an ID as an attribute, name as an attribute, age as an attribute, address as an attribute, and salary as an attribute. And number of rows, it is assumed here as 6. So this is the customer database. Now, what the thing was, we want to find out new salary and we find out the old salary. So this was old cell, and assume that there was some hike or there was some update. So assume the new salary was incorporated as 3,000. Now I should get it as some 3,000 minus 2,000. So I should get salary difference. So how much hike the person got. So in this way, we need to put up the values. So how much he is going to make the value. So that is where we want to find out. So that is the name what we are going to give here as a display of salary changes. So this is called as name of trigger, and in this name of trigger we call it as the user defined name. Next, let us move to the syntax here. Syntax, what we mentioned, we were mentioning in the syntax that it is need to be happened with create or it need to be happened with replace. So now let us look at this statement here. So create or replace trigger, it is going to be called as the reserved word. So when it is going to happen, before delete, insert or update on customer. Customer is nothing but the name of database or name of the table. So this is what we are going to assume. So then again, triggers are two types. Triggers are of two types. One, we call it as row level trigger. Another, we are going to call it as entire statement level trigger. Now it is going to be operated for each row. So now it is going to execute the row level trigger. That is happening with row level trigger. And now you can see identifier here. So identifier should be greater than 0. 1 is greater than 0, 2 is greater than 0, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Everything is going to be greater than 0. So now we were next one, we are going to have the local variable. We are going to have the local variable, and this local variable we are going to call it as salary difference. We are going to call here as salary difference, and it belongs to the data type called as number. Now how I am going to calculate the salary difference? So the salary is there, we assume it as a old salary, and the new salary we will make it with some update, and we will alter the table, assume it is in this model. Then we will find the difference. Assume the new salary was 3,000 rupees and old salary was 2,000 rupees. Now how much hike he got? He got 1,000. So you want to mention it. Okay. In Java, we have the print line statement. Similarly, in C++, we have the cout statement. In C, we do have a printf statement. But in PLSQL, we have the statement called as a put line. We have the statement called as put line. to display it on the output screen. So for that, we are going to call here as the dbms underscore output. We call here as the package name, and then we are going to call it put underscore line as the method name. So using package name followed by dot and bringing up the method name is not a novel issue for you, right? You are already using it in Java, and the same way we are invoking. Similarly, we want the things to be in a printed order. So we are going to use the single quotes, and then we are going to use the concatenate. We are going to use the concatenate with the original content. So now I want to display the old salary. So listen, we are going to put double quotes here. We are going to put the double quotes. So this is one form of SQL syntax. It is a SQL syntax. So there is no other option. We have to go with the double quotes, colon here. We have to go with the colon. So next one, we want to print out the new salary. So new salary, it is again with the colon here, and then we are going to display. Finally, we write it as print put line salary difference, and salary difference we compute it as with the thing with new salary minus old salary, and therefore we end up the procedure as this case. Now, what is the name of a trigger? The name of a trigger was display salary changes. Now we have built the trigger. Okay, up to now what we have done? We have just created the trigger. So as of now, you can say trigger was created. So now how can I create a trigger and how can I have a trigger body? So trigger is going to be created with the first part, and then trigger body is going to be between begin and end with the trigger statement. So up to now we have made this. Now let us extend this example here. So let us extend this example, and what will happen when the display salary trigger is going to be fired. So now we can say here insert into customer, this is the database here, and we give ID, name, age, address and salary. ID, name, age, address and salary, and we are dumping the values here. We dump with 7, another we dump with Kriti, and his age was 22, and he belongs to Himachal Pradesh, and his salary was some 7,500. Now we had made an insert operation. So now what was his old salary? There is no old salary, right? So therefore old salary is going to be printed with null value. So now let us say a trigger is going to be fired. Now we will call the trigger here. So what happens? So at this case, new salary was 7,500 and old salary was null. So obviously salary difference will be some 7,500. So that is how it is going to make it up. Now let us see, we will make a update statement. We will make the update statement to the customer. So we will make the update statement to the customer here. So now we are going to say we are updating his salary. Set update customer, set salary is equals to salary plus 500 for the user ID 2. So for the user ID 2, what we are going to do, he is going to have an age of 25. His address was Delhi. We did it. But what we have taken was, we have taken his salary and we have added 500 rupees to his salary. So now his salary was some 2,000. So at this case, what was his old salary? So now his old salary was 1,500. His full salary was 1,500. Now we have his new salary. What was his new salary? So the new salary, it was with 2,000. So new salary, it was with 2,000. Now what was his salary difference? So here it is going to display his whole salary as 1,500. New salary was 2,000, and salary difference, it is subtracting 2,000 minus 1,500, and it is going to give the value of 500 here. So that is how a trigger is going to be called. So we created a table, then we must create the trigger, then we can make some insert operation, then we can call up the query. Similarly, we can make the update operation and then again call up the query. So in this way, we are going to work with the triggers. So triggers, we have another example here. So in this another example, we were talking that there was a database relation schema where we have a professor that is called as a database, and professor, he is going to have a professor number, professor ID, and professor name and professor salary. Now there was a constraint that we must ensure that his salary should be greater than 60,000. So we must ensure that any new professor who is going to be inserted has a salary of 60,000. So when new row is inserted, the condition is it must check the salary should be greater than 60,000. So that was the condition what we are going to look. So now we were telling that assumed that here the salary was given as a 60,000. So that is what we call here as a minimum salary. So now we will assume now 60,000 will be the minimum salary for the professor to be joined. So now what we are going to say, we will make a create followed by a trigger, and then we are going to say min salary. It is called as a user defined name, and it is going to be fired before insert on a professor. So that is the reason why we call it as. So ensure that new professor. So when a row is inserted, just before we should check whether the condition is going to be executed or not. We need to verify it. So for that we are going to build up this event. So this part we call it as the trigger, and then we call these elements as a trigger body. So for the first part, it checks up entire trigger event up to before. Then from before to end, we call here as a trigger body. So next one was we can see this example here. We create a trigger, then we are going to give a trigger name. When it is going to be fired, it should be fired before the insert operation. On what database it needs to be done. And the database name was it goes with the professor database. So it is an event and it must occur before insert operation. So that is the syntax what we need to take, and it is going to be totally implemented with each row. It is going to be totally implemented with each row. So now we do have a declarative statement, a local variable. So temp, it belongs to an integer data type. Then we are going to have the trigger body. So trigger body, it is between begin and end. So if is new and new dot salary, this is again a reserved word in procedural line SQL. So this is mandatory here. So if whenever a salary is going to be checked, now we need to say the new salary, new dot salary. So this is the reserved word, and we need to follow the syntax as it is. The salary should be less than 60,000. Then we should we are going to put some raise application error. So we are going to use if loop. We are going to use the if loop here. So if followed by some condition. Now if it is true, then we are going to put up the things. So if the condition is true, then we are going to put up some raise application error, and we get this answer. So that is how we will work with triggers here. So we will now brief up the things in a theoretical aspect. So we were checking the trigger example that it is going to happen before the insert operation. So before a tuple, before a row is going to be inserted, we are going to make an insert operation. and it is applicable to each and every row. It is going to apply to each and every row. Colon new, it is going to refer to the new tuple, not to the existing, tuples in the database. So we will check that if it is less than 60,000, now we will fire the trigger. If not, we will accept the conditions. So we talked about triggers here, and when triggers are going to be noted out, so triggers, they are going to be worked, one with row level trigger, another it is going to be worked with a statement level trigger. So triggers, they are going to be of two types. First type we call it as row level trigger, second type we call it as statement level trigger. So one we call a row level trigger. It is activated once per modified tuple or once per every row it is going to take up. But as far as statement level trigger is going to concern, it is going to check once per SQL statement. So it is going to, it affects the entities involved in the SQL statement. So at a time. So that is the key takeaway what we should understand. In the statement, if we are working with multiple tables, then definitely it will see that all the multiple tables are going to be activated. Similarly, if the it is going to be taken up only for a row, obviously it goes with verification only towards the row. So now you can see here the row level trigger, it is going to access up new data, and whereas the statement level, it cannot always do that. So it is purely dependent on the DBMS. So that is all regarding the statement and row level triggers. So now we do have the syntax for the trigger statement here. So at this trigger statement, we mentioned that create, then followed by trigger. It is going to be the reserved word here, followed by trigger name. So we call it as user defined word. Then when an event should happen, event to happen. So when it is going to happen, it can happen before in or after, that is before insert or after insert, before delete or after delete, before update or after update. So based upon the situation, if we want to use the three, all the three we can use. If we want to use only one, then we will use only one. Then on what columns we want to use. So assume a table is going to have 4 columns, but we need to access only 2 columns. So therefore we will give column list as only 2. Then we will use on what table name, on what database, or the virtual table. So the view, we call it as a virtual table. So whether we want it to the actual table database or whether we want to work on a partial database, that is a view, so that we are going to point it out. Then we need to refer whether we are working with new variable types or whether we are working with the old variable types. So old, it works with data which was already existing in database. But when we use new, from now onwards, it affects the database. So this was the change what we should understand. Then again, for each row, so by default, if we are not mentioning for each row, then it is going to be for each statement. If I'm going to use statement, it is called as statement level trigger. If we are going to use row, then we are going to call it as row level trigger. Then the condition what we need to take up and followed by the trigger body. So trigger body, it is going to have declaration, it is going to have begin, then it is going to have end, and in between it is an optional entity called as exception. So all these, they are going to provoke the trigger events. All these items, they are going to provoke the trigger items. So we talked in today's class a detailed description regarding the triggers and trigger events. So we will implement this trigger as a part of a DBMS lab exercise also in shortly. So triggers, we were telling that it do have three parts. The first part was an event, second part was a condition, third part will be the action part. So event, condition, and action part. So these will be the three items what a trigger is going to happen. One, we call it as event, two, we call it as condition, three, we call it as an action, and it is going to invoke automatically so that it is checks when an event should happen. When an event should happen, it can happen before or after. Similarly, when whether it is before insert or update, before update or insert, before or after delete. So all these three items are going to be pursued. This is set 1, set 2, and set 3. On what database it needs to be applied on. Then it is going to verify for the condition. So type of condition to be met, condition type to be met. So that is the second part. So part 1 was event, part 2 was condition, part 3 was an action, and this action, it is going to be write it into the trigger body. Action, it is going to be written into the trigger body. So when we talked about a trigger, so we were calculating, or we were working on the table called as a customer database here. So in this customer database, we do have ID, name, age, address, and salary. So obviously what we were doing was we create or replace is the reserved word here. Then again, trigger is a reserved word. Now we were mentioning display salary change. So this is user defined trigger name. User defined trigger name is mentioned. Then we need to mention the event, when it should happen, before delete or insert or update on. So before delete or insert or update is going to be the event, and customer, it is going to be the database. Where it is going to apply, either row or either statement you need to mention. By default, statement is going to happen, but here we are going to mention it over the row here. Then we need to check the condition. We need to check the condition. So what is the condition? The condition was ID should be greater than 0, 1 greater than 0, 2 greater than 0, 3, 4, 5, 6, and when a new entry is going to happen, of course, it should be greater than 0. Then we are going to have salary and difference, and then we have a number that is, we call it as local variable. We are declaring inside the trigger. Now trigger, it is going to have trigger begin, trigger end. It is going to have trigger begin and trigger end. So we are now working with event. We talked about comment, condition. The third thing, we are now working on the action here. So what was the action? The action was, so one, we talked about three events. So trigger, if we mean to mention, one, it should have event, two, it should have condition, three, it should have action. So what is event? So this part, before delete or insert or update of the table, we call it as event. Then we are going to verify it, we call it as condition. Then we are putting the things at this point, uh, what should happen when a condition is fired. So that is called as an action. We need to compute the salary difference between the old salary and the new salary. So dbms dot output, we call it as package name here. Put line is going to be called as a method here, and then we put up the things to print out the output. So this was the existing table, the trigger what we created. Now we are going to make an insert operation, then fire the trigger, or we can say call the trigger name. So the call the trigger name, that is implies we are going to call it as display salary change, display the salary change. Similarly, here also we can say call the trigger name, that is display salary change. So when we do this, we can say that there was a old salary, there was a new salary, and we get the difference. So we had made update customer, set customer is equals to some customer plus set salary is equals to some salary plus 500, where ID is equals to 2. So ID is equals to 2. Now we were mentioning it is going to have a hike with 500. So we get 2000 here. Now we had updated, we had made an update operation here. When we made an update operation, now we are now calling trigger name. We call the trigger name here. So call the trigger name. So call the trigger name. It is going to compute the salary difference. So what was the new salary? New salary was 2000. What was the old salary? The old salary was 1500. Now I am going to get the salary difference as 500. So old salary it prints with 1500, new salary it prints 2000, and salary difference it is going to provoke with 500 rupees. So that's the thing where this triggers are going to have a key role while participating the things in the DBMS. So that is all regarding the triggers aspect here.